Today's video, we are assembling the YakAttack BlackPak Pro Kayak Fishing Crate. We've read the instructions so you don't have to. The goal is for you to be able to just follow along to take you from this to this. So there are 3 different sizes of the BlackPak Pro available on the market. The 13x13, the 13x16, which we have right here, and also the 16x16. So first things first, measure your tank well area or wherever you're gonna be putting the crate and determine which size is gonna work best for you. We got our trusty Jackson bite that we're gonna be using as a workbench today. We are gonna crack this box, get the parts laid out, jump right into it. Love the simplicity with the tools. All you're gonna need is any sort of drill, Phillips head screwdriver, some Phillips head bits, and then a drill bit extender, maybe for the rod tubes if you're gonna use it. And again, we're assembling the 13x16 crate today, but these instructions will apply to all 3 of the different crates that YakAttack offers. So first things first, you're gonna wanna find the base of the crate itself. So as you can see, almost every piece here, aside from this one, has either YakAttack printed on it or something printed on it. The one without is your base. So grab that first. We're gonna make sure on our bottom piece that the ribs are flat down on the base of your surface. We're gonna take one of our smaller side panels. You're gonna wanna make sure the YakAttack is upright. And we're just gonna attach it to the base, just sliding it right into that groove, just like that. These bigger side panels, you're gonna notice there's an edge with a slot, and then there's a keyed edge that pieces into another side piece. And when we assemble this, we're gonna wanna go counterclockwise. So make sure when you're looking at it from above, you're going on your next piece counterclockwise till you get to the other side. So the keyed edge of this piece is gonna go into the notch here, and you're gonna see she's gonna come together really nice. We're just gonna flip it on its side here, just give it a little pop, and there you go. This on our side, just like that. We're gonna take this guy, and it just pops in beautifully. Look at that, eh? You hear that pop, you know she's set. You get your last panel, and first you wanna go to your starting panel. And we're gonna just pull it out of the seam a little bit because this guy's gonna rest and pop right into it. Then take your panel, line it up on the far side. Perfect, so we got that side in, and now that we pop this out, look at that guy falls right into place perfectly. And then we're just gonna pop that side in just like that. There's your basic crate assembled right there. At least the walls are up. Big thing with the drill is you really don't wanna over tighten these screws. You wanna make sure they're going in straight. You wanna put it on the lowest possible power. You don't want them to strip out. So once you get to the bottom, right where you start feeling some resistance, just stop. I'm personally gonna use the Phillips screwdriver just to finish them up. Of course, grab your kit A. All your screws are in there that you need. I actually grabbed this eggshell carton just so I could keep the screws in here. I figured it would keep them organized. They're not falling through the scupper holes or anything like that. I'm gonna grab 4 screws. Make sure that both pieces are nice and tight together. And then we're just gonna hand thread them in there just to get them started. Again, making sure they're nice and straight. Don't want them going off sideways into the plastic. You want it to be as secure as possible. You're gonna have all your gear and precious items in this box. At least I know I will. So we're gonna come in nice and straight, and we're gonna go nice and slow getting that screw in there. Right about there, when the head gets flat to the box, that's where I'm gonna stop. Oh, we just got our one corner done. Now what I'm gonna do is just take my Phillips head screwdriver, and we're just gonna go lightly and just do a little hand crank on these bad boys. Just make sure they're nice and snug. Perfect, just like that. Nice little, basically like a half turn is all you're gonna need. You'll feel the resistance though. Those corners are done. We're now gonna work our way all the way around. I'm not gonna bore you with that. Let's get these screws in and keep going. So now that we've done the side panels, we're gonna move on to the bottom panels here. So a bit more screwing to do, all sides. Again, exact same method we did with the side panels. So let's get that done. Move on to the next step. All right, we got all the screws installed around the box. Now we're moving on to the next step, which is installing the rubber feet onto the crate itself. Super nice that they give us this. Gonna keep it nice and stable in the tank well, give us some grip. And of course, we're on to step B. We're reaching for kit B. So we're gonna open this guy up, take the rubber feet out. All right, so we got everything organized here. We got our rubber feet. We got the screws and the washers to go with that. These here, these smaller pieces that are included are your lid bumpers. So we're gonna set those aside for now. We're gonna do the feet first, then we'll move on to the lid bumpers. It's gonna fit right in nice and snug and perfect, just like that. As you see, drop in a washer. We're just gonna get our little screw here and get that drilled in. Boom, just like that. We don't want to go down too hard. Again, the name of the game with this whole crate is you just want to go enough that she's snug and then do your hand tightens. Pretty straightforward here. There's only one way they can go. Washer, screw, boom, done. So we got our feet installed, as you can see. It is now time to move on to the lid bumpers. Ooh, man, she grips nicely. Like I'm shaking it back and forth. Look at the kayak shake. That's awesome, actually. I'm impressed. That's super grippy. Once you get your gear in here too, she's gonna be pretty stuck. All right, so the next step is really simple. We're gonna take our lid bumpers that were part of kit B. We're gonna look for these little nubs that are just around the lid here. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna put these bumpers on just like that. You want the little nub edge facing up. Awesome. So there we go. Got our lid bumpers installed, everything's nice. Next step is to assemble the hinges for the lid. So we're gonna jump into kit C. As you can see, there's a lot going on in kit C. What you wanna do is go in, get the contents out, and look for those hinges, just like you see here in the picture. These long screws, and then the nylon nuts. There's gonna be 2 of them. So now these hinges are pretty easy to put together. You're gonna want this guy just on top. That's gonna go on top of the lid. This guy here with the actual hinge points is gonna go on the side of the box, so they're gonna go together just like this. But what you wanna do is when you put your screws in, you wanna make sure the head of the screw is on the outside of one side, and then when you do the other, it's gonna be on the other side, and that's gonna allow you to easily adjust the tension. All we're gonna do is put the screw in one side here, and then we're gonna have one of the nylon nuts just on the other side. There we go, right there. So we're gonna go ahead and do the second one, exact same way we just did this one, except of course, don't forget, you wanna put the screw head on the outside of this one. Now, before we move forward and attach the lid to the box, we need to figure out the configuration and which way we want it to open. So I would suggest placing your box in the configuration or way that you want it to sit in the kayak, in the area you want it in the kayak. So for me, I'm gonna be in this rear tank well. Tried it this way, and I think for the way I like to fish, I'm gonna have my 4 rod holders right here. And for the way I set up my kayak, I think having it open this way would be good. Easy to access for me. It's not gonna get in the way of anything. So now we're gonna jump back into kit C. All the remaining screws in here are gonna be for all the remaining pieces that are in kit C. They're all the same size. So you'll notice the specific mounting holes on top of the box. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna get these screwed in just snug. We wanna make sure the fitment and alignment of the lid is perfect. Just snug, guys. We don't wanna do them down super tight yet. We can adjust them after once the fitment's just right. We're just gonna go with our screwdriver and just tighten them up just snug. All right, well, would you look at that? Really starting to look like a crate now. A nice little upgrade from the old milk crate. Look at that. It's nice. It stays up by itself, doesn't flop over. Whoa. Closes nice and quietly too because of those bumpers in there. So this box comes with 2 latches available, and realistically, you'd want to put them on either end. I think I might start with one in the middle personally. It would be one less thing I have to sort of bend over and undo on the kayak when I want to get into the box quickly. All right, still want to keep her loose so we can adjust accordingly. So now we're gonna jump into kit D. We're getting to the latch assembly. We're almost there. We've almost completed the box. From here, it's just adding all the other little pieces, the rod holders, but we're almost there, guys. Now you can see the components of the latch assembly right here. Again, I only have one of them out because I'm only gonna try one to begin with. We'll see how it goes throughout the kayak season. So you have your bottom piece that's gonna attach to your grid lock. So you just wanna pop that in there. And essentially how this is gonna sit is just like this. We got our locking mechanism installed. I must say, this is pretty sturdy. I'm pretty impressed. You just push down with your thumb if you want to be super quiet. That just flips down, and then you open up your crate, or however you configured it, just like that. If you have the 2, I already think right off the bat, you know, just for me to be able to reach around with one hand and just pop it in, that's going to be super awesome. All right, we're jumping back into kit C, and we're grabbing 4 of the Omni corner brackets. So these are going to be the tie down areas where you can tether the crate to your kayak via bungee. There's gonna be 4 of them. They're gonna go on each corner. With this bracket, you just wanna make sure the points of the hooks are facing upwards when you install it. So you're gonna wanna go top set of holes in the corner or the next set. You want enough leverage there. All right, and there we go. The last Omni hook installed. I'm gonna get crate out of the way. We're just gonna tuck her down here. All right, we got our 4 rod tubes. We're gonna grab kit E. So we got our 4 hooks laid out, our little catch pins, our bungees themselves. All right, so first things first, we're gonna grab a piece of bungee, and what we're gonna do is at one of the ends, we're gonna tie an overhand knot. So just your basic flip underneath. And what we're gonna wanna do is try to make it as close to the end as possible so there's very little tag end, just like that. I'm gonna do that for each piece of bungee. This is as close as I was able to getting the knot at the end, so it still had a bit of grip to it with that little extra tag in, but that's about what you're gonna wanna aim for right there. Next, what we're gonna wanna do is grab one of our hooks, grab the bungee, and we're gonna feed the open end into this side, so the little square, not the other side that's open on the bottom. We're gonna feed it right into that little square into the hole, pull it all the way tight, and we're gonna get that knot just to sit as snug as we can right in the end there, just like that. Tuck it right in. So now that we've gotten our hooks on, we're gonna go to the other open end of the bungee without the overhand knot, and we're gonna do the exact same thing on this end. So we're gonna make it tight close to the bottom, and I'll show you how I do it. Try to get it as snug as possible to the bottom. I'll make the overhand knot, and I'll kind of just put my fingers up against it and cinch it along while it's loose, and then just pull it tight. Oh, we got our hooks ready with the bungee. What we're gonna do now is grab a rod tube, and what you're gonna see right up at the top here, there's gonna be a little notch and a hole that goes right down in there. I find I want this cinched down as tight as possible so it can actually fit through that hole. And it's nice to have a bit of tag in simply because it gives you something to grab. So as you can see, we're able to grab that. Our knot is cinched down so it pops right in. And we're just gonna pull this snug. Now next we're gonna need to route the bungee along the rod tube, but in order to do that first, we need to install our little catches right here. You're gonna see there's a little spot for them, those four little catches there. We're gonna install each one into the bottom using those short little screws. We got the catches installed. Now all we need to do, have that hook right up at the top. There's a little channel. We're gonna fish it down, keep that bungee going down, hook it right underneath. See, I actually had to back this one off so I could get the bungee underneath. So that's something you might have to do as well. And then what we're gonna do is just fish it right up to the top here. You're gonna see a notch there. The knot's gonna sit right in there. So we're just pop it in just like that. So that's what the assembled bungee is gonna look like, is just tighten that catch back down so she's snug, just like that. And there you go, you have your assembled rod tube. All we have to do now is install them on the crate. Now this is where things get interesting again. Because of the grid lock system, there's so many different ways they can be installed. Like for me personally, I'm gonna have all four of mine on the back right here, but you can have them on an angle, on another angle, on this side, two on this side, two on this side. It really is up to you. What I suggest doing is doing like a dry fit. So line it up on the holes where you think you'd want to install it, check your spacing, everything like that. And then once you're happy with it, count it out, write it down, whatever works best for you in terms of the hole pattern. There's 4 slots for screws in these rod tubes, and you want to install at least 3 screws in for secure hold on the rod tube to the crate. The remaining screws that were in that kit E, and tighten here. And we're just gonna get our middle screws. I just grabbed a set of pliers. Just gotta play around with a little bit. Easier said than done. Once you find the hole, it kind of just sits in there. Just don't want to go too tight. We're in there nice. Well, would you look at that, folks? I think it looks absolutely awesome. Offset the rod tubes a little bit. Go ahead and grab kit C. Pull out your 2 carrying handles. You're also going to notice these little hooks in kit C. Now these are Omni hooks. The purpose of these is to thread onto your bungee. So you're going to undo the bungee that's on your kayak if you have some, and you're just going to thread this on. And what these do is these attach to the corners here and latch down. I'll probably put mine right under the bracket right here, so it's right near the top. You'll match it up on the other side, and then you have your side carrying handles. Go Gadget Kayak Crate. Feel free to hit that like button if you did get some value out of this video. Can't wait to get this thing out on the water. And if you guys are as eager as I am, you might as well check this video out while you're here.